members of the dais, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to warmly welcome all of you to this important event. I welcome Mr. Tripathi. I remember when I joined the Ministry of Renewable Energy, people asked me, where are you going? And I'm sure that they are not asking you this question any longer. And when I see Mr. Anil Rajdan as Secretary Power trying to promote renewable energy, I think it's a sign of the times. I would warmly welcome Mr. Ayogi. UNESCO is giving a lot of technical support to us and to this sector. And of course, Mr. Popley, without IREDA, how do we progress? And I think you have an extremely important role to play. And Mr. Garg, who is organizing all this event. There are many experts, many chairmen, many speakers in the audience. We had been discussing the last half an hour. I can tell you the excitement I used to feel when the solar mission was announced. And we are feeling that excitement now, because things are really going to happen. When I was the secretary, I used to tell people the time for renewable energy has come. Some people listened and then forgot about it. But I think the time has now come. We can very easily say that renewable energy has become an integral part of the energy solutions for India. And it is at this critical stage that we have a minister who is pushing this sector, and we have a prime minister whose ideas and leadership we know is going to take us very, very far. Since I have been given this opportunity, if I may say a few suggestions, although no predecessor should preach to his successor, but just a few suggestions for your consideration. I'm very happy to hear that MNRE has announced a program for 2 years of 750 megawatt each, and with bundling as a provision. My suggestion would be, please announce maybe 1,000 or 1,500 megawatts for the next 5 years with bundling as a provision. This will provide confidence, certainty, continuity, and clarity. And this is something which everybody looks forward to. Secondly, hasten slowly and then accelerate after grid parity has come, so that we are on a sustainable ground. We have been providing demand-based domestic protection. Some of it is necessary, but I think we should start thinking of providing a supply-based manufacturing policy with a target of about something which will produce 1,000 megawatt equivalent of cells, and ensure that this actually happens, perhaps in the public sector. In the meanwhile, my own view is that in the domestic content, we're not going into the complications of this item. That please have some support for the cells, and please have some support for the modules also. I think that will be fair to everybody. Thirdly, when we start thinking of 50,000 and 1 lakh megawatt of solar, please start, in my view, identifying locations, acquiring land is becoming scarce, and start building solar parks for about 50,000 megawatt capacity. It's much better to subsidize the land and evacuation infrastructure to developers than to give them EGF, which subsidizes the same thing. And I may even make a radical suggestion to you. Please consider setting up of a new Solar Park Authority of India. My view is infrastructure first, plants will follow. I keep hearing, I was away in the States for 2 months, I've just come back this morning, but I keep hearing of large plants, and it worries me a little bit, because there could be transmission nightmares. So why don't we have a white paper which talks about all the issues related to large plants, so that it could be open to a public debate. When we thought of the mission, the idea was that the government of India would implement this mission, all the 20,000 megawatts of it largely. I think we should think of continuing with the same thing. It will provide uniformity, quite apart from the continuity, etc. I have found many states have been having their own policies. The members of the Federation, I keep seeing them talking to State A, State B, State C, State D, etc., etc. Things are getting postponed here, postponed there. Tenders are being opened here and there. It's a lot of effort and expense unnecessarily. If you have a bundling provision, there is one agency, there is one government, there is one PPA, there is certainty, and I think it will help, and this is our initial stage. And the time, I think, is now come for a real integrated energy policy. If I have the intermittency of wind, I need flexibility and I need balancing. So I must design my gas plants like this. I must design my water pump storage schemes like this. I must design my thermal storage schemes like this. So it would be a good idea now that wind and solar is going to be very high RE penetration, that we think of all these things. And finally, I think we desperately need an energy access mission. When India becomes the biggest problem for energy access, I think it's time to hang our heads in shame. And we desperately need to do something about it. Solar mini grids, biomass gasifier grids, and efficient cook stoves will do the things. I think I've said my piece a little bit. Time is short. I can't say more. We will have an opportunity to discuss with you. I once again welcome all of you. There are important issues to be discussed as we go forward in a sustainable way, and I'm sure this conference will provide an opportunity to do so. Thank you very much.